Whoa, camera had a problem. Camera had a problem. I have a little bit of a problem. The camera's being a little bit weird today, so it looks a little bit strange. But I'm here. And I'll be honest, it's been a couple of weeks with inconsistent streaming. I wasn't here last week because I was in China, in Shanghai, for work. The timing would not have worked out for me. And I also don't know if you can get Twitch in China. There's some weird, so like when you're in China, if you're on Wi-Fi or a network in China, you got to drink a Spindrift. I've been traveling, so since I've been traveling, I want to make sure I don't get scurvy. So I'm going to drink a Spindrift to combat the scurvy. Jules VZ, welcome back. Thank you so much. It's good to see you. I was about to just say, I'm not sure anybody's going to show up today because I've been so bad about doing the stream for the last couple of weeks. GDC was before that. Then I came back. Then I was gone for another week. I'm here. Also, kind of a strange day with the Supreme Court hearing arguments for and against birthright citizenship. This is obviously a stupid thing for anybody to have to listen to arguments for or against because it's settled law. It's the right thing to do. And it seems like in this instance, at the very least, the Supreme Court has voted against the administration 7-2. Birthright citizenship remains a thing. Again, a huge waste of everybody's time. That's why I said at the beginning of the show on my standby screen, conservatives allowed. Because guess what? It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time to hear them out. So, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So I didn't even know if I could do Twitch in China. So if you're in China, so I was in Shanghai for a week. And it was great. It was great in so many ways. Probably the best food city I've ever been to. It was, of course, a week of me basically by myself and then with colleagues exploring the city. So I was able to eat kind of whatever I wanted to. Mostly just popped into small little places here or there. Didn't do a ton of really fancy stuff, but it was amazing. But so far, probably my favorite food trip at the very least. Just wall-to-wall amazing food. Folks were nice. Very, very, very different than here. As an American, I've been privileged, I guess, enough to be able to go kind of almost anywhere in the world and have some English around, all that kind of stuff. And I'm very aware that that is a privilege. In China, not so much English in lots of places, and it was really interesting. It was kind of a neat experience to feel really different, and I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, if you're on a Wi-Fi network there, or if you're on like a cell plan in China, a Chinese cell plan, lots of websites are blocked, including I think Twitch. Blue Sky is blocked, so harder to doom scroll over there. I guess you could be on Red Note. I'm not sure if you want to doom scroll on Red Note, but can't do that. Gmail, all that kind of stuff. Good news is I had my AT&T data plan. That was fine. So I was able to still do that. Anyway, all told, I didn't stream. It wouldn't have happened. I wasn't even sure I really wanted to stream today, but I was like, I got to get back on the horse and let's do this. So before I do that, I wanted to show a couple of quick pictures because I was having such a good time in Shanghai. Just pictures of things. I promise this isn't going to be a whole slideshow. Like people hate it when people do slideshows of things, but I thought this is the train system. Shanghai, apparently, has the biggest by mileage metro system in the world, and I used it a fair bit. You really can get around quite easily, even though very little is in English. Now they do have street names in English, but it's not super easy in that way. But the system is like very, very, very easy to follow and comprehend, which was pretty cool. I got off of the train after ending, and I found a cool movie theater. They were playing Project Hail Mary, which I wanted to go see, but I didn't because I didn't have enough time. It was a short trip. There was my hotel in the scariest building I've ever seen in my life. My floor was on the 46th floor. My room was on the 46th floor, which was quite high up. View from the room. I like this. Do not be overloaded. This is good for everybody to know. I'm gonna get in there. I'm gonna get into the manuals. Don't you worry, Darren Hupke. I'm returning to real life after my trip. So I wanted to take a few pictures of China and look at them and say that was so much fun for me, and then put everybody else through it too. Real Amanda, yeah, I want to see Project Hail Mary bad too. It looks great. I've heard it's fantastic. I think it was James Milkey, who has good taste, mentioned that it's like one of his favorite sci-fi movies of all time. So my goodness, this was supposed to be a better picture, but I couldn't get it. It's called Godly. It is a vegan restaurant. I just thought the sign was cool. That is what I got that night. I got some mapo tofu, which cost about. I got a dessert too and some rice, and they cost me about $5, which was pretty good. I don't think anything in this building would cost you $5. This is a Louis Vuitton store, which is the shape of a boat. This is just sitting there on a street. So there's a fair bit of visible wealth across Shanghai. I found a Koei Tecmo store, which was right next to a Capcom store, as well as a SNK store. And I got really excited. But, and I didn't show a bunch of pictures of this, it's all just like, not even keychains, but like, what are those, acrylic stands and some weird buttons. And it all, I don't know, it was all just, it wasn't exciting. I wanted to buy games. I wanted to see some other cool stuff, even like cool shirts. But they're really into Koei Tecmo over there, apparently. I was talking with a colleague, and he was saying that Koei, in particular, before the merger with Tecmo, was like the big game developer there for his childhood in the 90s. So all those, was it Romancing Saga, Romance of Three Kingdoms? I don't know. Those games are big deals over there. But they did have, I thought, a very neat little display just sitting there. They had this. They also had a PS3 and I think a PS1 somewhere else, but I thought this was pretty cool. So we got some neat stuff over there. Again, right next to the Capcom store, right next to the SNK store. Nothing too exciting. I thought this street was cool. There's lots of cars and little motorcycles everywhere, little scooters. So you have to watch where you're going constantly. It's kind of an intense place to walk, to be honest with you. But I thought this was a cool little street. This is just a little neighborhood that I walked by. Another space over there, lots of good food along all these streets. I went to the Sega store. This is Sega's flagship store. Hello there, Psychoc. Good to see you. Welcome. Thanks for joining, even while visiting family. Good to see you. I'm going to be honest. If anybody from Sega is listening, I was disappointed in the Sega store. Because again, same as always in all the other stores that we just talked about, the Capcom store, the SNK store, Koei Tecmo. Oh, I didn't show a picture. It's mostly just like acrylic stands, a few figures, but that's about it. So nothing too exciting, not even that big, although this was in a larger mall of just character shops, which was kind of cool. I got this black sesame and red bean kind of paste, which was sweet and cool, alongside these nice little shrimp guys. Don't know what happened with this picture. Oh no, and all my pictures are failing. So there we go. That's the end of the show, folks. Nope. Okay, there we go. Yeah, they're all dying on me. Well, it was a nice show while we did it. Here we go. Let me just do a few more. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, great. I want to show this one here because, not because of my reflection in there. I'm very sorry about that. You got the parking lot. International Brawn flagship, which was cool. The Subculture Wear Elgnites. I don't know what that is. Pioneering New Wares. Playful Trend Hub. Dining Moments Hub. Carefree Saving. And then my favorite, the Gastronomic Gathering Realm. So I will say everywhere I went was a Gastronomic Gathering Realm because the food is so darn good. There we go. Smurfs. Smurfs are a big deal. This is a meal that I got one night. That was pretty darn good. Here's another street. Here's another street. Parking, walking on the sidewalk is sort of more of a concept than it is a practical thing oftentimes. So people will just park like this for a little bit and then you get to walk into the street. This is actually a busy street, which was pretty exciting. View from the office. So you get these cool tall buildings, a little river over here. The Bund River is over here. And then lots of small neighborhoods. This is heading to a mall. This guy was just cool and going super fast in the rain. Found a large Pokeball. This mall was just opening a new Sushi Row restaurant. Sushi Row is a conveyor belt sushi place, big in Japan, that we went to a lot when we were in Japan last year. I just thought it was funny. how many advertisements they had for Sushi Row in this mall. Another view from the office, a cafe called Mr. Bond, in case you couldn't tell. They wanted to let you know it's called Mr. Bond. Classic Walnut Mario, my favorite flower power-up. The Boy Cafe. A better look at one of the neighborhoods, kind of down low, closer up. A really cool neighborhood called the French Concession, which has this really interesting vibe. It was a French outpost, and very cool going on over there. Lemon knows everything. Some good food. I got French Concession. I promise I'll be done soon. And then I went to the Game Museum of China, basically. So the CADPA, which is the part of the government that sort of oversees video game stuff and ratings, as it were, made a museum. And so I walked around it, and it was neat. It was little. They had some Chinese games here. So this is one called Knights of Valor, which I gather was a Chinese-developed game at a time when maybe that wasn't something that was super consistent, super common. Video games and like console games were not really a thing until the late 90s, except for bootlegs. And arcades, I think, were sort of similar. Lots of stuff coming in from Japan, not so much coming out of China. They did have an MSX, so that was the first time I ever checked out an MSX in person. And then they made this little room. This is actually really what I wanted to show everybody. So they made this little room at the museum to look like a Chinese family's living room in the 90s, basically. You got your TV over there, all that kind of stuff. The system over here looks like a keyboard, and it is a keyboard, but it also has a slot for bootleg Famicom games. And so the learning computers, I was talking with a colleague of mine who's from there, and he was saying that at the time, because consoles weren't really available or even allowed necessarily, if you wanted to play video games, what you would tend to do is convince your parents that you actually wanted to learn how to use a computer, and you get one of these learning computers, and then you would just use that learning computer to play bootleg Famicom games. So this was a bootleg Famicom game. It was playing Contra. So I played some Contra on a bootleg Famicom game using a Chinese learning computer from the late 80s or early 90s. It was quite cool. They also built a little area to look like what a computer game store would have looked like back in the, I think this is like the late 90s probably. So I thought that was neat too. Cool little museum. They also had some Russian consoles, which were also kind of bootleg knockoffs of things. This is the Dendy. Is I think this is a Super Famicom bootleg system. So that's kind of cool. There's the Dendy Classic too. That's a Famicom one. This book over here is a really cool book about SNK, and it was all the interviews were conducted by James Milkey, and I was happy to see his work all the way out there. Give you a little. They give you a little souvenir ticket, which is neat. Some more food. Gigantic bowl of soup, about $6. I found the sausage discount, the sausage district in a grocery store, which I thought was cool. Me at the Arcane show. Let's see here, a place called Existentialism Kids, and I'll wrap up because we're basically done here. But it was cool. I just wanted to show a few of those things. Thanks for sticking with me. I think that we can call it a day and read about Ardy Lightfoot, the video game. Dendy is Taiwanese produced bootleg. There we go. Psycox got the info. I had to use some like machine translation, so none of the museum was in English. So I used Google Translate, and it was like a little bit dicey on it. So there you go. Just sold in Russia and Ukraine. Psycox, did you ever use one of those? Was that like kind of the usual thing, the Dendy? Was that like the popular one? So yeah, so there we go. So that's that. Let's move on to the video games that you actually came to see, not my trip to China necessarily. Let's watch a little bit of Ardy Lightfoot, developed by ASCII Games, published in the US and in Europe by the Wolf guys, the people who did Superman 64. What's it called? Anyway, don't matter. I forget their name right now. I turn the music off. Let's see. Titus, that's what it was. So this game has an interesting start. Starring Ardy and Peck. This is, by the way, the most Super Nintendo sounding game of all time to me. The graphics are nice. Thanks for sticking with it, Jules. I appreciate it. Thanks for the patience while I showed my pictures. So, people who know me know that while I really appreciate the Nintendo in a lot of ways, I cannot stand how it sounds sometimes. And this is an example of what I just cannot stand from a noise standpoint. It makes me feel like I have a congestion. I don't know how to describe it. We go further. Kind of has like a very Tiny Toons Buster Busted Loose look to it. Fight this guy. Anyway, that's Ardy Lightfoot. Careful, Pat. Anyway, Ardy Lightfoot. I'm already done watching that video, so we can read the manual. Okay, so Ardy Lightfoot. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know what to make of the manual yet, but we're going to find out. Thank you to our friends at Titus. After he starred in the Shakespeare play Titus Andronicus, he had a second career publishing video games in the US and Europe, which I appreciate. He had gone down a dark path, but made it better. So we'll turn the music from Andrew Elmore, by the way. Andrew Elmore is the music in the background today, as always. You can go find Andrew's music over here at satellitesound.net. I've got it up at the top right there. My hair is doing something real cool. But thank you so much, Andrew, for letting us use that. Also, Instruction Derby, by the way, it's been a little bit. I'm a little bit rusty. This is part of the Soundstone network of shows. Flashback, 64, Pixels and Polygons, Kirby Conversations. Darren Hupke is in the chat of Pixels and Polygons fame. So please check out those other shows if you haven't already. They're cool. Yes, Ardy Lightfoot is in fact a video game, as Jules points out. Thank you, that is true. Table of contents, we got the game story, and of course, we're going to take a look at it. The game is composed of 17 action scenes. Map screens and demonstration scenes will appear between these action scenes, and we'll be playing as Ardy Lightfoot and, of course, Peck, who we met just a few minutes ago. This young adventurer is crisscrossing the Prism Land every day with his friend Peck. Peck is Ardy's best friend. He often has arguments with Ardy, but when he is needed, Peck is always ready to sacrifice himself in order to save his friend Ardy. Some interesting punctuation going on here, but Peck has an unhealthy relationship with Ardy off the bat. Yes, you got the contractual shout out. It's you know what? It was in Mr. Show. There was a skit about a movie that became mandatory for everybody to watch, and the review for the movie was it's warm and mandatory. So my contractual shout outs to Darren Hupke for Pixels and Polygons is warm and mandatory. So it's good. It kind of like it meets every need. Contractually obligated and sincerely meant. So I think that's nice. We got that. So they fight each other sometimes, but then Peck is still willing to sacrifice his life for Ardy Lightfoot, who seems like a real dick. The adventures start when Ardy finds a slate on which a poem is written. It states that if someone can collect 7 pieces of the rainbow, one of his dreams will be realized. Just the one. Whatever one that is, I don't know. The Y button throws Peck. The B button, Ardy jumps with the B button. The longer you press it, the higher Ardy will jump. You can stand on his tail, you can jump with the tail, and you can crush enemies. Ardy can crush enemies by landing on them with his tail. Some tough enemies are not crushable, but if Ardy jumps on an enemy with his feet, he will hurt himself, much like Scrooge McDuck. He doesn't use his... You did hear Soundstone. Flashback, that's right. You did. You did hear the sound stone. The sound stone came ringing. That's not a thing. I don't know what that means. Ardy, crouch down. I got to drink the Spindrift retraction of the month. I'm getting it out of the way for the whole month. I'm not retracting anything else. Happy April Fool's Day, by the way. Things are going great. It's a lot of fun to get tricked by lies. Anybody got any good corporate lies fed to them on social media today as a bit or as a lark? Let me know in the chat. Push, pull, select. Let's start the adventures. I think that's what we will do. Password, make Ardy replace the fruits in the same position as when you finished the game last time. I don't know what that means. And the scene number will be displayed on the right side. Go out of the screen from the right, and the game will restart from the beginning of that scene. So confusingly worded, but I think I get it. If you've cleared several scenes the last time, you can select the scene that you prefer with the L and R buttons. That's nice to know. Good job, Ardy. So you got quantity of Ardy's lives. I do think that there's character bios or something in here. I think that's why I chose this, but I might have just liked the design of the manual. Again, I'm a little rusty. I don't remember what I'm doing. Characters, of course. Nina is a friend of Ardy's forever. She lives in the suburbs of a mining town with her old grandfather. That's what they call her, old grandpa. As she inherits the pendant containing the red piece of the rainbow, the Visconti's band is after her life. To this point, we have not been introduced to the Visconti. Presumably, he's a bad guy. The senior, grandfather of Nina. All the inhabitants of the village trust and obey him. The story begins when the senior reads the slate brought to him by Ardy. So there's a lot of sort of toxic relationships being examined here in this game. That's right, Spindrift sponsored Spindrift Steam for Spindrift and Spindrift-related properties. Brought to you by Spindrift. That's right, Jules, thank you. The Soundstone Network, a proud sponsor and wholly owned subsidiary of Spindrift. Don Jacoby, a legendary adventurer known by everyone, but few people have seen him. He has fought with Visconti in the past, and this time he will fight again with his old enemy to save Ardy. The Old Lady, the woman who protects the forest. The green piece of the rainbow of this forest will be stolen by Visconti's band. But it also sounds like Ardy Lightfoot is stealing them, because if he can collect all of them, one of his dreams comes true. So who's the real villain? Lumberjacks. They are inhabitants of the... We know that. That's like the founding story of Canada. It's just lumberjacks. They're inhabitants of the forest. Constantly up there. The Copies, the soldiers of Visconti's band, enemy of Ardy. Morden, commander of Visconti's band who attacks the mining town. We've got Catry, the very nimble wild catwoman who will cause Ardy many troubles and will steal the green piece of the rainbow from the forest from the old lady. See, now we're piecing it together. Gilson the pirate, the captain of the pirate ship that crisscrosses the ocean. He protects the treasures of the ruins in the South Ocean from the tomb thieves. Adventurers are with him. Never join the band of Visconti. And then we've got Beecroft, the right hand of Visconti. Sly fellow who desires the top place of the band. Yo, 4-Bit Friday, what's up? Thanks for coming. Good to see you. We're reading about Ardy Lightfoot. Visconti, the devil, the boss of Visconti's band. He built his castle in the middle of the ocean and does only evil things. Yeah, he's actually he's up for a role in the administration. He wants to collect all the 7 pieces. I love being topical. He wants to collect all the 7 pieces of the rainbow in order to reign over the world. Visconti can go back. I'm gonna go do this for a second. Visconti can go back. I want Visconti to know what I said at the very beginning of the show. I don't know if you can see this here. No conservatives allowed. So Visconti, you're out of here. Camera's doing some interesting stuff. Visconti is out of here. Yeah. So there you go. We remember. Who remembers Ardy? Ardy looks kind of cool. Okay. Okay. I'm not sure Ardy Lightfoot is my game necessarily, but I liked the way it looks. I like the idea of the lumberjacks being like a type of human, not just like somebody's job. So they are the inhabitants of the forest. There's a lot to like, I guess. Treasure boxes, you can find them. You got Peck. This will revive Peck. It's very important after a push day to revive your Pecks, because otherwise you could strain a muscle, and Ardy doesn't want that. One up, that'll give Ardy one more life. You got a star chip, and you got a drug. Yes, this will transform Ardy. I mean, that's just a given. The second bottle of this drug will transform him back to his normal conditions. So there you go. Yeah, it does feel like it was based on an existing property, but one that like wasn't real. It's a strange seeming game. So there we go. Drug. This will transform Ardy. Remember that. It's important. I'm going to show this manual to my kids so that they understand the dangers of drugs. Although I guess it also says that if you give him another drug, it'll turn him back to normal. Other available items. Portable item can be used for various purposes. So I feel like they forgot to, it's very confusing. Can be used for various purposes, such as as a step in order to reach high places where Ardy cannot reach, even with the high jumps with his tail. The bomb, used to destroy floors and walls. You must set it very quickly, otherwise Ardy will be damaged by its explosion. Sometimes it can be found in a treasure box. You get a key to open locked doors, and a mirror to be used to reflect the deadly beams generated by some bosses. Among these items, some give Peck a strange power. When Peck changes his color, shake him in order to check his power. So there you go. Ardy can increase his tail jumping by puffing up Peck in the air. Just again, it's sort of like the switch in the room where Ardy fights against Katri can be pushed by Peck. Besides, Katri is always aiming at Ardy, so if you try to lure her before going on step on the switch, you can beat her easily. You can also easily beat the big scary boss by using your hiding power. Try to invent your own attack method. The ghost that appears from the lamp will not be damaged by any attack from Ardy, but he does have his weak point. What can you find in the room besides this ghost? I think that's kind of cool. Rocks will stop and throw back arrows. That's how I stop arrows when I'm out and about. So don't forget to use them. Ardy will land and stand on his tail if you keep the B button pressed continuously during his jump. Try this if you cannot make Ardy jump with his tail. But be careful. Don't jump or Ardy may hurt his head. And then finally, the attacks of Visconti are really very dangerous, though if you observe him carefully, you will be able to foresee the next move. Go, Ardy! Do your best for the peace of Prism Land. There you go. Then there's just a bunch of white pages. Okay, well there you go, Titus. Thank you, Titus. If you are in Chatsworth, California, perhaps you are working in the porn industry, you can find Titus Software at 2432 Corisco Street, Chatsworth, California, 91311. So there you go. Congrats to Titus. All right, that's one. Should we read another manual? Before we read another manual, I'm going to tell you that it's a video. We're going to watch a video for Brawl Brothers. But what I discovered is that Brawl Brothers, which you can see here, just received a sequel like a few weeks ago. And it was put together, none other than the good people at City Connection and Clear River Games. We could watch a video of that soon if we want to. It's called Rushing Beat X Return of Brawl Brothers. It is, in fact, a belt-scrolling action game that released on the 16th of March. And of note for this show, comes with a manual. So I might have to buy this game just to see what they've put in there. I am a big fan. Thank you to the folks at Clear River Games. They are, I think, pretty consistently delivering manuals at this point, and I think that that's neat. So we'll see what the deal is, and we'll see what happens, and maybe I'll just go ahead and treat myself to a video game manual. But before we do that, let's watch a few minutes of Brawl Brothers. Yeah, it should have been the Brawl family. Brawl Brothers, Brawl Sisters, Brawl Uncles, Brawl Aunts, Brawl second cousins twice removed. Here we go.
Jaleco.
Jaleco. Can we see the Jaleco sign again?
Jaleco.
Jaleco. You know you're in for a good time. When it's Brawl Nephews. I'd play Brawl Nephews. It's a nice form of green on top. I like that. colors are good. The colors are good here. I don't want to see the options. Come on. Yeah, one player mode. Here we go. Let's watch some Brawl Brothers. I actually thought Brawl Brothers was a different game. But this one kind of looks cool, to be honest. This is a better SNES sound than Ardy Lightfoot. I want the sound to hit. Brand Newman. Yeah. Oh, there you go. So hold on. Brand Newman, who's in chat, thank you so much for coming, says Brawl Brothers is Rushing Beat. I had no idea, and I didn't know that either. I just figured Rushing Beat X was a new name for it. So I guess this is Rushing Beat over in maybe in Europe. Rushing Beat is probably a better name than Brawl Brothers, let's be honest. So there you go. There's a code in it to rename all your enemies after your real life enemies from Recess. That's cool. We got to get into Brawl Brothers. Brawl Brothers brought to you by Spindrift for good times. These streets are a little bit barren, but I guess I wouldn't drive on them either if there was fighting going on. I like these sprites. Yeah, Rushing Beat does sound like a rhythm game. We could make that. We could make a Rushing Beat rhythm game with this soundtrack. SPAC. Yep, you're right. SPAC, crash. I wonder if there's any other sounds that get made. It's just SPAC or crash. Boom. We're gonna see a SPAC. Where's a crash? I haven't seen a SPAC or a crash. SPAC. There you go. So I do think we get the idea of the game, but it looks like it moves fast. Let's see if there's anything. There's a sewer level. You'll be shocked to learn there's a sewer level. Oh, I like this. When guys go into the water, they flow down the river. I like it. I like it. I like it. I don't like that noise too much. There's a jungle. This is everything. Okay, awful. My ads experience is awful. Poor Wendy is getting absolutely wrecked by Kazan here. All right. Well, that's Brawl Brothers. So let's check out the manual for Brawl Brothers while we're all here. While we're Brawl here, if you need to talk to anyone from Jaleco, you don't have to wait until the very end of this episode. You can see this right here. Just give them an in-person visit at 685 Chaddock Drive, Wheeling, Illinois. I'm not sure if Wheeling is a hotbed of the porn industry like Chatsworth is or was, but check it out. 60090. It's close. 708-215-1811 is the main office, and if you need any help with Brawl Brothers, give them a call at 708-215-2359. So there you go. That's Jaleco. Why should you join the Jaleco Major Players Club? Now, on this show, we've read a few Jaleco manuals. I'm going to try to zoom in a bit. This is going to be a little bit weird because this is one that's got 2 pages on it on each side, so bear with me. You can win free games, about once a month drawings, find out about new games, and test games before they're released. And again, I will say that if I had any idea this was going on in the 90s, I would absolutely have joined this. Here's what you get if you don't join. You get nothing if you don't join. Don't tell me what to do. Excuse me. You can't tell. Jaleco's very inappropriate. And there's only one way you can get in all this good stuff. It's going to use a few moments of your time and the price of a postage stamp. So there you go. Drop the card in the mail. You're in. Just do it. Even if you joined before, fill out the card and send it again. It'll increase your chances of winning. How much, what does it go? Price charting. Price charting. Let's go ahead and take a look. What is Brawl Brothers complete in box worth right now? Is that worth the price of a postage stamp? Yeah, well, I've got it's 130 bucks. 130 bucks or $417 new. So there you go. If you are in a PAL region, You're looking at over almost $3,000 for a new copy. How about that? Um, Jaleco, Jalisco. Is it Jaleco? I don't know how to pronounce Jaleco anymore. It's Jaleco as far as I'm concerned. Maybe it is Jaleco. I could drink a Jalisco if Forbit Friday is saying that it's making him think of Jalisco. If listen, highest bidder. I love you, Spindrift, but I'm not getting paid a whole lot for anything at all for these primo endorsements. So if Jalisco wants to do something with the show, I'm willing to change my whole personality to become a Jalisco man. Am I pronouncing that right? I don't even know. I will pronounce it right if they pay me. If people pay me, I'll pronounce the name of their product correctly. You've got the table of contents, introduction, object of the game, getting started options, controller functions, and all the good stuff. Here's your introduction. Well, it looks like just another quiet afternoon down at the local gym. Our two friends, Rick, better known as Hack, and Doug, aka Slash, are busy coaching their trainees in the finer points of self-defense. 'Cause it's a tough world out there in the streets of Bayside City. These guys know all the moves, from martial arts to pro wrestling throws. Nobody told me the music wasn't back on. I'm sorry about that. There we go. And they don't hesitate to use them. Hey, they're not called the Brawl Brothers for nothing. Yeah, but they're there for self-defense, and I'm starting to think already they're not really using their knowledge for self-defense. But wait a minute. Just like Ardy Lightfoot, these guys fashion themselves the hero, but they might actually be the bad guy. But wait a minute, maybe things aren't so quiet after all. We've got some serious trouble on our hands. The gym's three best fighters have just been kidnapped. Oh man, you know who I mean. Lord J, Kazan, and Wendy. Kazan was fighting Wendy earlier though, what the heck? Lord J's, you gotta read the lore I guess. Lord J's the really big guy with a black belt in karate. Kazan is the ninja master. He's fast on his feet, but carries a sword with him at all times, just in case. These are the normal guys that you have at a fighting gym. And Wendy, well, she's a lot tougher than she looks. No doubt about it, this girl can hold her own with the best of them. Uh-oh, more bad news, dudes. The kidnappers belong to a gang of thugs run by this psycho called Dieter. Believe me when I say this guy is way, way out there. He's got all these scientists working for him, creating hundreds of clones from the people he kidnaps. Dieter, that's why. See, there we go. I knew the answer would come eventually. A Jaleco manual is a good manual. Read the Avenging Spirit manual, which I think was from them, and that was very good too. I forget the name of the person Kate something, who tended to be the writer for these manuals. So we knew that they would explain why Kazan was fighting Wendy earlier, but now we know. Dieter uses the clones as his own personal army, so naturally they're really strong and really nasty. Who knows what evil plans lurk in that demented mind of his. So far, nobody's been able to stop him, but I got the feeling he's messing with the wrong crowd this time. Back in Bayside City, Hack and Slash are making their plans. They've got what it takes, and they're ready for the fight of their life. With a little luck, they can rescue their friends and then put an end to Dieter and his gang once and for all. Yeah, those scum thugs better look out. There won't be much of them left when the Brawl Brothers get through. Get through with them, I presume. The object of the game, if you're looking for non-stop action, you've come to the right place. The Brawl Brothers delivers a real knockout punch with enough moves and mayhem to challenge the best you've got to offer. Make the game as easy or as difficult as you like when you choose your options. You can limit the number of lives and continues, even control the number of enemies. Play solo, join forces with a friend, or go head-to-head with your partner in a one-on-one competition. Stick with one character or take turns with all fives. The Brawl Brothers lets you do it your way. This is cool. I love being pitched after I've bought the game. I'm down. You come face-to-face with Dieter's evil forces right from the start. Villains with names like Heckler, Phantom, Leadhead, Fnord, and of course, Butch. Careful, I almost didn't read that as Butch. Your adventures take you. I'm reading too fast. Your adventures, you can't be held accountable when you're reading too fast. That's why Spindrift is here to stop me, to slow me down and make sure I don't read anything wrong. Thank you, Spindrift. Jalisco, if you would like to see the same thing happen to your brand, just let me know. but I've gotten distracted. Your adventures take you through 4 stages, from the Bayside city streets to a labyrinth of underground storm drains, then to the jungle and across the rooftops to the command center where Dieter keeps his secret air fortress, a flying battleship worthy of the name. Be prepared to find your way out of a couple of mazes along the way. You'll have to use your brains and your fists if you want to survive this one. Not to worry, though, you've got plenty of talent to choose from. The Brawl Brothers are actually 5 guys, or 4 guys and a girl, to be exact. Each character has their own distinct personality and moves, from jabs and body slams to flying kicks and pile drivers. Hack is the mastermind of the operation, but he still throws a mean punch. Slash, his best buddy, is the enforcer of the group, a real heavy hitter. Kazan is a ninja fighter with special powers. Lord J is a world-class judo master and black belt in karate. And last but not least, there's Wendy, a pro wrestler. Jesus Christ. A pro wrestler with awesome power. For a girl, that is. I can't abide. I can't abide. This is from a different era. Okay. Wendy. They said Wendy can hold her own. Wendy's fine. Wendy, don't listen to them. Wendy. You choose 2 characters at the beginning of the game, your main character and a backup. The other 3 are kidnapped by Dieter and his gang of thugs, who use them to create clones, evil twins with superhuman strength. Your final confrontation on each stage is a fight to the finish with one of these clones, and believe me, they only look like your friends. Once you defeat the clone, your friend is set free and can be chosen in the next round. That's cool. Dieter himself appears at the end of the final stage as he tries to make his escape in the air fortress. You arrive just in time. Crawling over the wing and into the hatch of the massive flying fortress gets airborne. Your mission is clear. You gotta find Dieter, then survive the final battle and escape before he blows the thing sky high. Hey, if he's going down, he's gonna take you with him. With all this to look forward to, we think you'll agree that Brawl Brothers clobbers the competition and keeps you coming back for more. So what are you waiting for? Pick a player and get to the action. Yeah, Brawl Brothers. I will say that if I were reading this, like in the back of my mom's car on the way from the video, from Toys R Us or something I got, I'd be like, yeah, I'm ready, let's go. I'd say, fuck you, Dieter. Don't clone my friends, you asshole. That's the official line of Spindrift or Jalisco. Catface Faces is here just in time. Getting started, I'm not going to read that. You got the 1-player game. You got a 2-player game. You got an options screen. I'm going to zoom out a little bit to make the scrolling a little bit easier here while we look for the next thing to read. Here's all the cool stuff that you can do with the options menu. I do love that. Here's all the moves you can do. Lord J's got a punch, a spinning kick, running punch, body slam, backdrop. Kazan's got a punch, slash, sliding kick, flip, throw, backdrop, triple jump. Hack's got a punch, high kick, flying kick, body slam, throw, backdrop. Wendy's got a jab, double kick, spinning kick, slide, double kick, body slam, backdrop. Slash has a punch, flying kick, flying punch, head kick, flaming lighter, pile driver, and body slam. Their special moves are the electric zap, sonic slam, power punch, somersault kick, and fire punch. Congrats to everybody. Yeah, Wendy's cool. Wendy's the best character. I like this. I just saw this earlier when I was going through to take a quick look. The on-screen displays angry mode. Your character switches into angry mode when he comes under heavy attack. Don't we all? You'll know when it happens. He starts flashing. In angry mode, this is how I know when my kids are a little bit overtired too. They start flashing. In angry mode, you are more powerful and cannot be hurt by your opponents. Unfortunately, angry mode only lasts for a limited amount of time. You can turn this option on or off in the options screen. If they're anything like me, after angry mode is done, they feel like they just need to go to bed for the day. They feel physically ill after angry mode is unlocked. Luckily, angry mode doesn't happen to me too often, but if I do get upset, I get very, very tired, and then I feel terrible. So hopefully that's not what happens to them, but perhaps I could eat a chicken leg or a first aid kit if that were the case. You've got some special items. You've got a sledgehammer, steel pipe, spiked back, shotgun, knife, rock, dumbbell, and bomb. The throwing weapons can only be used once. Other weapons can be used as long as you hold on to them. If you're knocked down and drop your weapon, try to pick it up again before you move out of range. You got a first aid kit, 100%. Chicken leg, 100%. Can of juice, 50% of your health. Piece of cheese, 50%. Chocolate bar is a quarter of your strength. And a pancake is 25%. Here's your stages. So, sadly, there's no pictures, but The Brawl Brothers includes 4 multi-level stages and a non-stop supply of no-good, vicious villains. I read that as viscous villains. Hopefully not. Your friends have been kidnapped in Stage 1 by that wacko dude Dieter, and you're not gonna take it. Your search begins on the streets of Bayside City, but Dieter's thugs are there before you. Trash the slime balls, then move onto Bayside Bridge. They keep coming at you on foot and even in a helicopter. Dodge the machine gun fire. At least his guys get it too. Then drop to the storm drains as the bridge collapses. More enemies are lurking down below in the maze of tunnels. If you're not careful, you could be stuck down here for hours. Find the exit ladder, then climb up and face your first big showdown with one of Dieter's evil clones. Stage 2. And I forget, Catface Faces, hello, welcome. I think I said hello to you. I don't know what's going on. We'll just say that I'm still jet lagged. I don't think that's a valid excuse for not being able to keep track of anything. It's been 5 days, but we'll just say it. Stage 2, well, you survived the first challenge and rescued one of your friends. Now it's time to continue your search for the others. You head into the jungle, but the path is full of landmines. Explode the mines by throwing your enemies on top of them. If you don't land on them first, that is. At the end of the path, a moving platform takes you up, all the way to the top of Dieter's training complex. He's using the place as a staging area for his attack helicopters and rocket launchers, and the guards aren't exactly happy to see you. Fight your way to the end of the complex, then destroy the supercopter before your next friend shows up. Stage 3, another victory, no doubt about it, you've got what it takes. With just one friend left to rescue, you head across the rooftops in search of Dieter's command center. Better watch your footing as you move from building to building. It's a long way down. At last you find it, the main headquarters. Dieter didn't provide a floor plan, so you'll have to find your way out around the building yourself. Move from one elevator to another as you travel from floor to floor in search of your kidnapped friend. Unfortunately, their clone appears first. Crush the scumbag before they do the same to you. Now all your friends are safe. But where is Dieter? Like, they're frustrated, but where's Dieter? The heck? Stage 4, it looks like Dieter heard you coming and decided to make his escape in the Air Fortress, a huge flying battleship. We're at the home stretch, folks. You jump onto the tail as the airship takes off, then fight your way across the wing to the entry hatch. Inside, more enemies come at you in a final furious defense of their evil boss. At last, the moment you've been waiting for. It's Dieter himself. Hey, wait a minute! This guy doesn't look so tough. Of course, looks can be deceiving. As soon as you find out. As soon as you find out. Okay. Dieter eventually, I don't know what that means. Dieter eventually goes down in defeat, but he's got one last trick up his sleeve. The auto-destruct sequence. Don't worry. I'm sure you'll find a way out of this one. But if you don't, you can call the Jaleco Major Players Hotline at 708-215-2359 if there's something you don't understand about your new Jaleco game, or if you're just having trouble with your cartridge, or if you're just plain stuck, you're welcome to call the Jaleco Major Players Hotline between the hours of 8:30 and 5 p.m. Central Time, Monday through Friday, except for holidays. So there you go. Normal telephone charges apply. It's not a toll-free call. Kids, get your parents' or guardians' permission to call before dialing the Jaleco Major Players Hotline. Taking care of your game. Don't fuck it up. Don't treat it shitty. Be good to your Jaleco cartridge, because one day in 2026 you'll check on price charting and discover that it's worth $150 complete in box. So be good to it. And be compliant with your FCC regulations. That's important. Here's some credits. Contributing staff, Jaleco Limited. The president is Y. Kanazawa, and project manager was T. Kaneko, H. Nunokawa, R. Kuramochi, and all at Jaleco. Jaleco USA was run by Howard Rubin, project manager Jeff Hill, international coordination Masao Ohata and Oliver Tang. Package design and layout was Market Force Inc. by Tim Hill and Mike Riesel. Here we go. Package copywriter Tim Hill and instruction manual writer Kate Hunt. So Kate Hunt also wrote the manual for Avenging Spirit, which was outstanding, and a few of the other Jaleco games that we've read. I believe I read like a golf game that had lots of character in it as well. Kate Hunt, if you're out there, I really genuinely appreciate the work that you do on these manuals, and they are so much fun. They're so much more fun than you would expect them to be, and I think that's really cool. I'm gonna be honest, and maybe this is corny. The work of people like Kate Hunt is what has drawn me to continue to do this show in a large part for the last couple of years here, for the last like year and a half or 2 years or whatever it's been. There's just so much personality and care and love put together by folks who were doing something that was probably fairly thankless at the time, right? People didn't think too much about the manuals. We all loved them, we all enjoyed them, but you know, it wasn't the main appeal. So thank you to folks like Kate Hunt. Thank you to folks who've worked on these manuals. I think it's pretty cool. I think you're cool. Game testers, we do have an instruction manual design and layout. This is a nicely designed manual. Jack Nichols from Jack Nichols Design. The game testers were Baki Allen, Mike Lee, Butch O'Malley, and Joe Sislow. Then it says, say goodnight, Gracie. Goodnight, Gracie. The weather's fine, quite fine here in London. Oh, we've had a bit of rain and all that. I'm not sure what that means, but I like it. It's there. And that's the end of the manuals for today. Interesting. Jules VZ got auto-modded for bullying for saying the name scumbag. We're going to allow it. We're going to allow it. Yes, do call Jaleco, the Jaleco Major Players Hotline, to let them know how we feel about the Wendy description, because Wendy deserves better. But that was a fun manual. I had a good time. Thanks to Ardy Lightfoot and his friend Peck. Thank you to all the Brawl Brothers and the Brawl Sister and the entire Brawl family for today. Thank you to Kate Hunt for writing the manual for this one. And thank you to all of you for joining. I wasn't really sure what was going to happen on this episode, but I do appreciate it. And I'll be back next week. Now I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of major breaks for me, unless I get to go on another cool trip somewhere. I don't think that's happening anytime soon. But hope y'all have a good one. Abolish ICE. No conservatives allowed. Birthright citizenship remains the law of the land. And yeah, man. Get fucked, President Trump. Thank you. That's the show for this week. Have a good one. And see y'all another time. All right, I'm going to go to the Road Blaster intro, and I'm going to try to stay awake the rest of the day. I could use another cup of coffee. Have a good one. Bye.